fixed it. Thanks for the heads up. How are we all doing? Hello. Welcome to the stream. Different comic today, yeah. Different one. A lot bigger, you'll notice. We're penciling today. I don't know how much of this we're actually going to get done today. Hopefully all of it. Maybe not all of it. Maybe only a tiny little bit. We'll see. Yeah, let me know. How you doing? Fridge Gang, where you at? I want to see you. I want to see you in the chat. I want to hear about it. I've got a confession to make to your chat. I've already started on this. I know, I'm sorry. It's... get me out. Alright, see you later. There's a lot of weird, like, complex poses on this page, and I wanted to get them all planned out. I needed to concentrate on them. And I couldn't be dealing with you guys and your fridge nonsense while I was doing that. Alright, so sorry about that. But there's still plenty to do, obviously, you can see. Yeah, it's a different comic. It's quite an action-heavy page here, so you sort of have to, when you're plotting it all out, you got to think about, obviously, how you're conveying your action and you're flowing through your panels, right? So in this panel, there's a guy, and you can't really see it. Hang on, let me zoom in. You might be able to see a bit better. So in this first panel, right, it's this one guy and he's fighting these two guys, right? So he's like blocking the attack. He's about to punch this guy in the face, and then this guy's coming in behind. Next panel, he's punched the guy in the face. This guy's about to hit him, which goes into this panel where he's like cut the guy that was about to hit him in half, right? I mean, badass, right? And then down here, he like turns around, and the guy's on the floor, and then he's like begging him, like, "Oh, don't kill me! Oh God!" And he's like, "Now I'm going to kill you, pal." Jedi, yeah, exactly. They are laser swords, actually, but we'll get to that. So I've already mapped it out, and we're basically just going to take the poses that I've already drawn and just turn it into finished artwork, right? Make sense? Sure, why not? I might have to change a lot of the poses as well because they're a bit, some of them are a bit out of whack. They don't look right. Right. I've got previous pages over here so I know what these guys look like. Oh yeah, this guy's got like he's got like a man bun type, but it's more like sort of a Mulan than mine. Right? So you draw your ear in here, that places the rest of your face, right? So sort of the back of the ear. We know that he's going to be facing that way, because that makes sense, right? Let's wait till I turn that on. Actually, if we're going to be working panel to panel, I can zoom in for you so you can see what the fuck's going on. Alright, yeah, so if we say his ear's going to be here, right, then we know that he's facing this way, because that's the back of his ear, right? So there's his hair. Flows it's there, right? Can't stay long at work. At work? It's just unacceptable. You did say sub Fridge Gang though, so that's, you know, you're part of the community. That's nice. I like that. I'm there for that. I appreciate you stopping by at all, to be honest, especially if you're at work. I hope you don't get in trouble. Don't blame me if you do. That ain't my deal. I think he had like an undercut type. Yeah, he does. Yeah, sweet. I have a stable job. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. Imagine a 9 to 5. Oh my God. The scenes. The absolute scenes. I mean, you may have a stable job, but do you have your own gang of loyal fridges? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'd take the job though, to be honest. That would be my preference. Okay, they have a weird outfit. Yeah, he's got like a collar thing that overlaps this like neck armor type situation he's got going on to here. And this, contrary to the last couple streams, is a much bigger scale comic, right? The ones we were doing before were just little square ones for Instagram, right? This is like a 6-page thing that I'm making that's full size. So this page is, I think it's 10 by 15 as opposed to 11 by 15, but there we go. Sup man, Will Tones, hello, welcome. Yeah, I think this is 11 by 15, so this is more like what most comics are drawn at, right? Ones that are printed to full size, they're drawn at this size, drawn bigger than the one they're printed, so they sort of downsize the image when they print it. I guess to get more detail and stuff. I don't know. It's a bit of a dumb system, to be honest, but that's the way it goes. Them's the breaks. But it does mean that there's a lot more detail in each panel, right? The other one was what we were doing the other day. It was quite just a fun, simple one. Didn't really matter. And you could be quite, I guess, cartoony, but more just, it's easier. This is way harder. They have big shoulder pads, these guys. I designed them to have big, like, shoulder pad armor. So basically what's going on in this comic, oh hang on, how many man's buns can we set to see in the pan? Well, this is the only one with it. This guy is the only one with one. But he does feature in 3 out of the 5 panels. So that's what, 60%? That's not bad, right? That's a better ratio than most comics, I would guess. So these folds, right, when you're drawing an acceptable ratio. Good, thank you. I'm glad you can get on board with that. Yeah, when you're drawing clothes like folds, you got to think where the pinch points are, right? So this shoulder here, the folds are pinching into this part of the elbow here, and then here they just sort of flow over, right? And they fall as well, drop down. Olcott PC with the follow. Welcome to the Fridge Gang. I think that's 3 follows from the same household today. Thank you very much. That's the way of it, innit? We're definitely going to have to get affiliate though, because we already know what our first emote's going to be, right? A fridge. And then you can spam your fridges. Okay. For those of you that weren't in the other stream, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I mentioned fridges. But you could check it out on YouTube, I guess. I've got all the backlog on there, if you really care. Or you're just going to have to go with it, mate. Just embrace it. Embrace the fridge. Right, now we've got to the hand part of this part, right? And I've got reference for this. So I literally, OG Fridge Gang knows exactly. Exactly. So I've literally just took a picture of my hand holding a thing as a reference here, so that I don't have to make complex poses, like complex hand gestures up in my brain, because frankly ain't nobody got time for that. I do tend to sort of still draw the sort of the skeleton part of it, the underlying what's going on, as if I were designing it myself. Something like that, I think. Sure. Why not? Why not? Oh yeah, these things have like little jobbies on them. You get it. I'm glad that little follow thing came up on screen that time. It hadn't been working last time, so I guess I fixed it. That's always good. Twitch is a bit, I mean, it's great, but it is a bit unreliable sometimes. Okay. So again, you got to think when you're penciling stuff, right? It's gonna be inked at some point, right? So you've got to think how the inker's gonna do it and try and tell them what you want them to do with their inks. I mean, for me, I know I'm gonna be the one inking this, so I don't really have to worry about that. As long as I know what I'm doing, it shouldn't matter. But just like think, the outlines are going to want to be thicker, right? So you want to be more expressive with them. And then your detail lines, you're going to want your inker to be thinner, to do thinner. So you want to be more controlled with those lines. Right, and then he's holding like a... Wherever I that ruler? Where did I put my ruler? Oh. Yeah, do you like traditional anymore, or is it all done in Photoshop now? This I do in Photoshop. Because I want to have the pencils pages as well. Because I'm going to send these off as samples, so I want to be able to send off pencils and inks. But I do still like doing traditional inking. There's a comic that I'm working on that's sort of my main big project. This is just a quick 6 pages, right? There's one that I'm working on that's a whole like 7-issue run thing, and that I ink all of that traditionally. I can show you some of that. Hang on. Like this, right? It's all inked traditionally, that one. But this one, I do on Photoshop. And even the ones that I ink traditionally, I will finish them up in post, right? Put them in Photoshop and fix all the mistakes, of which there are usually a few. Okay. But I mean, what do you think? You draw as well, do you? I haven't noticed you do anything. Well, actually, I don't really... No, I know you use Procreate a lot. Do you ink traditionally as well? What do you guys in the chat think? What do you prefer? What looks better? What has more street cred? Is that more important? I don't know. Bang. Okay. So this guy has like kind of a plasma type laser stabby, what's the word? Spear. That's the thing. Oh my god. No, since I got my iPad, I haven't done anything traditional. I think that is sort of the way of the world, mate. I think everyone's losing it. There's so many good digital brushes and oh my god, can you hear those horns? Someone is having an absolute mare on the roads by my flat right now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you can mimic traditional stuff so well now online with digital stuff because there's so many great brushes and things like that and techniques. And like I said last stream, as soon as you discover the ability to Control Alt Delete, or like Control Z rather, it's really hard to go back now with inking. Because it does improve your workflow, it makes it way easier. Okay, and then this pose is a bit awkward. We might have to redo some of this bit because I think this shoulder area here seems too long. I think it should be more like this, do we think? Then his head here. So this is the main character, right? This guy in the middle. And in these three panels, really, it's basically the same angle shot, so you can follow the action. Normally in comics, you want to vary your angles a lot and have lots of interesting sort of top down, bottom down, you know, foreground, background, interest. Mix it up. But I think with action stuff, sometimes it's easier just to keep it the same so you can follow what's going on. You don't want to be too confusing for people. You want to convey what you're trying to say as quickly as possible, basically. Yeah, I think the main problem with this pose is this. He's meant to be blocking this thing, but he's like holding his sword really awkwardly, so maybe we need to make that more powerful. Like if he's holding it out here, across this way. No, that looks dumb too. Looks like he's doing some like T-Rex arms. Because this, basically, the next panel is him punching, right? So I want to have this build-up of here flowing into there. Because you want to have your panels flow from one to the other, right? So the action of here is about to go this way, which leads your eye into this one, right? Where, bam, he hits this guy who's falling over this way, which leads you into this panel, where he's cutting, bam, that way. You know what I mean? So it's awkward to have him prepping a punch, but also blocking a blow at the same time. And this is why I wanted to get all these poses done earlier on, because it can be quite difficult to do. You have to concentrate quite a lot on this sort of thing. It takes a lot of trial and error, right? That might do. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That works. Looks like he's sort of nonchalantly blocking the thing. He doesn't really care, which is cool because he's a cool guy. I didn't do any reference for this hand because I shouldn't need it. It's just a simple little fist, and also it's tiny, so you're not going to notice it, right? So much. Okay. So let's get this fist in first. I think that'll make the rest of the hand a lot easier to draw. As a non-artist, I'm impressed how quickly the dude already looks done. Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah, it's all just practice. If you've drawn the same sort of poses and stuff a lot of times, you get used to the shapes, and it's all about thinking about. Basically, you spend loads and loads of time learning and practicing anatomy and drawing all the intricate ways that muscles meet each other and all that stuff. And after a while of doing that a million times, and in those ones, they don't look done super quickly. But after a while, you get good at thinking about the shapes broadly and just being able to draw those shapes without plotting it all out and all that stuff, which just speeds up your workflow quite a lot, I think. Because, you know, when you first learn and you'd go to draw this arm, say, you would go, okay, this, and then elbow here, and then this, and then you'd do the next stage of drawing like a 3D cylinder here, and then something here, and then you'd slowly build up. But because I've drawn arms like that a million times, I just go, okay, bicep, tricep here, and the forearm shape is kind of like this, right? It's just practice. You'll get there. Right, what's going on with his... Oh yeah, he has like a cuff. And here this fist is coming forwards, right? So it's sort of foreshortened. I say wizardry. It's not, honestly. It's not. I wish it were. That would be much more marketable. It's just not. That arm's too big. Too damn big. What was I saying? Oh yeah, foreshortening. So the forearm, if it was up, would be like this, right? But because it's coming forwards, you don't see as much of it. You just see like a circle like that. It is wizardry. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm a magician. This is all fruitless. None of you will ever be this good. No. Why can't I draw fists all of a sudden? See, it's definitely not wizardry. Look how many times I'm having to redraw this. I'm just going to do it like that. Cool. And this is another one that we'll just fix in post, I think. He's a classic lying wizard. It's not necessarily lying, it's just the code, isn't it? The magician never reveals their secrets. Although that is literally the point of these streams, is to reveal my secrets. I'll do. Right? Good enough, do we think? That's what we in the business call good enough. Also, it's about drawing like as little as you have to, you know? Make it as simple and as easy as you can to convey what you're drawing. It's all about cheating. It's all art is. One big cheat. So again, ear places the way that he's looking, right? Because his ears are there. I know that his face is going to be here. Work smarter, not harder. Exactly. That's what it is. Be as absolute, just literally be as lazy as you can get away with. That's bad advice for life, but good advice for art. Okay. Yeah, and he's got like, this guy's got like that kind of sci-fi, like cheap sci-fi plasticky armor stuff. Feel like a Barbarella type. Like a crop top, but plastic. I mean, you have to be a bit of everything when you're an artist, right? You have to know anatomy. You have to be like a costume designer. When you make comics, you have to anyway. You have to be like a scene designer. You have to be a director, right? So as simple as you can make each one of those processes, the better a time you're going to have. And literally you can see the pose is sort of the quickest part to do, which is why I did it off stream, but also the most important part. From here I'm literally just dressing the guy, right? I don't have to worry about, and any changes I make are subtle little changes. So if you get that early stage down, the rest is like just easy peasy. He's got like anime hair, this guy. I wanted him to look stupid cool, so he's got like this, like kind of Goku on one side and then bowl cut on the other. I don't know how well you can see that, but again, pinpoints, alright. Bam. And this one's less straightforward, so you can see more of the forearm, right? It's less coming right at you than that one. I have to redraw this hand because I've erased some of it. This arm, in fact, we could just put in shadow because it's behind. So you get a sense of depth like that. Good work. Bob Ross would be proud. You make it look so simple. Wow, that is high praise. Bob Ross would be proud, I wish. It's not simple, really. I mean, to be honest, it kind of is. Once you know it. I might do a stream at some point of a tutorial of... I had this idea of like how to draw literally anything, right? And basically I'll talk you through the fundamental steps of how to think about drawing, because it's the biggest step. And once you can do it, you can draw anything, right? And it's all about simple shapes. It's all about taking a complex image and breaking it down into simple shapes that any idiot could draw. And once you can teach your brain to think about those complex images in simple shapes, then you're onto a winner, mate. I mean, like you mentioned Bob Ross, if you watch Bob Ross videos, it's all little simple mark making stuff that turns out, and you think, oh my god, how is that a tree? How has he done a tree? And it's just basic stuff. I'll watch the tutorial, I'll grab a pencil and paper, and 40 erasers will be needed. Yeah, it's a lot of erasing art. It's a lot of making mistakes and then just trying to fix those mistakes. Okay. Now this face is quite small, right? So I don't have to worry about doing lots and lots of details, I just have to convey the parts, right? So there's an eyebrow here. And I mean, there's an eye there, but I'm not going to do too much. I'm just going to go at the top. And then like a dot so you can see where he's looking. Like fixing your mistakes is good advice for life. That is good advice for life, actually. That one. I'm not normally good at good advice for life. But basically, yeah. Actually, I think I want it to be like a bit more cross. Bring those eyebrows down. There we go. I mean, it's like anything else in the world. Anyone that's good at anything wasn't born good at it. They just did it a lot. Well, I mean, I've been drawing a long time, so I didn't used to be able to draw as easily as I can now. Then he has like a gadget, like a go-go gadget, Batman type belt. What am I trying to say? Utility belt. With pouches, because pouches are cool. Remember the 90s when everyone had pouches? That's what we're trying to replicate in this comic. Legs, I think these legs have to be a bit longer. A bit more like that. And again, this is just drawing a million legs and drawing poses enough times you work it out. When you first learn stuff like that, actually I think I had it right before. When you first learn stuff like that, right, you go, oh, okay, so a body is 8 heads tall, and this is half of that, and this goes to here, and all of that stuff. And you have to just work it out. You have to just draw it the boring way a million times. But once you've done it a million times, you can do it quicker and easier, and you can spot the mistakes because you've corrected those mistakes a million times in the past, right? You can go, okay, that head is too big, and you know it's too big because you've drawn the heads too big 150 times before. So now you can just spot it straight away. And drawing's a bit like, and this is anything creative is a bit like this, is finding that balance of spending your time doing that practice that's really boring and that people don't like doing, but it will make you better. Or if you don't care about getting better, just do the stuff that you enjoy, right? Anyway, that's that guy. I think we need a bit more sort of shadow on here and here. And again, I don't do a lot of spot blacks. Oh, he has boots on, doesn't he? Yeah. He's got like the Stormtrooper again, plasticky type boots. Like this. Slight confession on this one again, chat. No fridges. So sorry about that. It's not going to be a fridge day. I mean, maybe we could work one into a background somewhere, but if you're looking for fridges, that'll be last stream. Okay, right. So that's the main point of action in this panel. This guy about to punch this guy and blocking his attack. The secondary action is this guy in the background who's coming into the fray. And so this again, we don't want to draw attention away from this to here. I'm honestly hurt that there are no fridges. I know, I'm sorry. It was a dream, wasn't it? But every stream can't be fridges. It's just not feasible, chat. Okay? It's not happening. I'm sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so you want to keep this pose quite simple. You don't want to do too many details, too many exciting stuff going on. Because it can. Maybe it can. We'll see. Because then it will draw attention away from here, which we don't want. I've forgotten how these feet work, and I don't actually think I've ever decided. Because these guys, these enemy guys have like robot feet. You just won't. Perhaps I won't. I do want to make like a little dancing fridge gif for the intro of these streams. So maybe next stream will be us making that. And then the whole thing will be fridge. So, you know, maybe that'll make up for no fridge here. What was I doing? Oh, yes, that's right. So I'm just going to check, because this comic is part of a series of comics that I've been doing in the same kind of broad story. They're all stupid little sci-fi nonsense. This one's only 6 pages. The other one I did, I think, was 6 pages, and then there's one that's only 1 page. But on my website, I have the other ones. So I can find previous images of some of these characters. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so it's like this. Bam. And if you want to check them out, they're on my website. One of them's called The Burning Moon, and then the other one's in the assorted page. Yeah, so see, I've just put like shades down this leg. They're metal legs, right? I was trying to show that they shine, right? But I think that's going to take away from the front. Or actually, it'd be darker, so maybe it'll draw your eye away. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think it's better without. Bam. So that's his leg. And then he has like this like strap thing. His arm, I think I'm just going to obscure with this bang. Put a bit of it here, just hide it behind that. Because again, I'm lazy, and you want to be as lazy as possible. Right, what is this guy's hair like? Oh yeah, he's got like spiky in the middle and then quiff on the side type deal. And this, because it's so small, this face, you can barely make anything out. I'm literally just going to put some little shapes for where the eyes would be, like that, and then a bit of an indication of where the nose would be. That's all I'm going to draw on that face, because that's all you're going to need. You're not going to see anything else. I'm not going to bother trying to really intricately like make out an expression, because you're not going to notice it in the final thing, especially when it's inked. Right, and then and then I think we want some action lines like this instead of where I had them before, because it's kind of, this is the action of this panel, is these weapons connecting, right? Oh, one sec, chat. My door is creeping open, BRB. I'm back, don't lose faith. It's fine. Right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this is the action, right? So you want your eye drawn there. And maybe a bit through the face so you get to the face as well. And a Batman, a kapow, a kathunk. Yeah, in this one we could do that. Because this is the Juan, the panel in which he's punching this guy, right? This is a classic comic pose. It happens all the time, right? He's here, he's thrown his punch, and it's so exaggerated. You can see the back of him, you know, he's coming over himself, bam, throwing his whole weight in, and then this guy's sprawled back like, ugh. And in fact, we could give him a hand up going, oh my god. But I don't think we want to do that, because it's going to muddy up this pose too much. And this one we can definitely add a kathunk or something here. We might do that in post. I don't know, we'll see. So, foreground first. You want to work from the front back so that you're not overlapping things you've already done. Again, you don't want to have to make more work for yourself than you need. So this is, oh man, actually, you know when I said 60% ratio on Spider-Man Thwip, I don't think it makes sense with the punch, but we could try it. When I said 60% man bun ratio, I've just realised this, it's going to be cropped out here, so you're not going to see it, but just know that this guy has one, okay? And you'll know in your soul, in your heart and your soul, you might not see it, but I'm sorry, I'm letting you down a lot here, aren't I, chat? That is my bad. And again, right, I'm drawing the outside of the shape of the face, but I'm thinking about all the little bits of the face. So I'm thinking about, okay, the chin shape is here. This is the cheek shape that comes out here. This is the top of the eyebrow, right? And a million times before I've gone in and drawn, okay, this is the shape of the eyebrow here, and it goes like this, and then this is here, and all of that. But I've done it enough times that I can just see it in my mind's eye, you know. This. And again, I like to place the nose first, because the nose and the ears are what you build your face around. So get the nose in, there, And then your ear falls. So your ear is like from the bottom of your nose to your eyebrow. Right, so once I know that, I can put the ear in, and then I know where my eyebrows are, because I know that the ear would finish here, so the eyebrows would come here. I think he's going to be like, "Oh, shit, I've been punched in the face." So it's going to be quite frowny. Right? Like this. There should be a break here. There should be more outwards. Out to like here. Okay. And then he's like wide mouth, like, oh god. You can see like the bottom row of teeth, right there, and then a little drop shadow under where the lip would be. And then your eyes are placed like up from the nostril. Right, that's where the inside of the eye is, like that part. And then the middle of the eye is at the edge of the mouth. And the edge of the eye is away from that, right? So it'd be like this. That's how you'd place that. I think it needs to be more that way, unless we bring this in. Yeah, that's better. Okay, right. And then we'll have some hair flying out this way, so that it shows a bit more movement, a bit more action and excitement. We want a lot of that in these panels, and the more you, sort of the further you get away from your initial rough, generally speaking, the more action you lose, because you lose all these expressive fresh lines with more neat ones. So you want to try and find ways of recapturing that where you can, if you can. Right. Chin, shape, here, like that. You gotta think with these as well, like if it's a, obviously this is a guy, right? So he's got quite a broad jaw. So the line goes like straight down and then across, or straight down like that. With more like feminine jaws, it's more like out and then out like that. Like it goes across a bit and then in a bit. And that's just facts. I hate to break it to you. I don't want to seem like a, not trying to push anyone's buttons or be offensive. That's just the way that it works. Bam. And he's got these big old shoulder pads. We saw before. Here. And I want his shoulder to be kind of in front, right? I want him to be nice and contorted and messed up, because it looks like he's been taking a bit more damage or what have you. So we'll just drop a shadow there. Again, I talked about this a little bit in the last stream, but I'll just touch on it again. Of dropping lines. So basically, this shape here of this shoulder pad, right, is this. But because this shoulder pad is touching this bit of arm here, I don't need to draw this line here, because that shows that connection. And by putting this drop shadow here, I'm filling out that shape so your brain can see that shape without drawing that line. It looks more interesting, and again, it's less work. And again, here you see this foot is touching the ground, so I haven't drawn the bottom of the foot because I don't need to. It looks more interesting like that. That's the other part of drawing is yes, it's practice, but it's also deliberate practice of working out how you can save time. How you can draw as little as possible in the future. He's got like these little pipe things that come out of these shoulder blades. Bam. Drop shadow here for where this is. And also, you know, this is the 5th page of this comic, with all the same characters pretty much on every page. So I've drawn the same guys a lot of times. So I know exactly what they're going to look like each time and how to draw the different parts of them. So if it does look like it's coming together quite quickly, that's why. Do. There we go. Nice. Let me know if you guys are drawing anything right now as well. It's always fun to hear that people are drawing along. Let me know. If you're not, what are you doing? How are you spending your day in this... well, what's the weather like where you are? It's very windy here. You might be able to hear it. It's been very windy all day. Hit me up. It's always fun to have a chat while we're doing this. It's part of why I like doing these streams. I'm drawing an album cover at the moment. That's cool. That's cool. What kind of music is it for? Is it your album? If so, why wasn't I invited to be a part of it? I like doing album covers, it's fun. I've done a couple. It's always nice to know specifically going in what your like the aspect ratio is going to be, what the shape of the picture is going to be, because you know it's going to be a square, right? Because it's an album cover. So you can get straight into thumbnailing and working stuff out, and it speeds up the creative process a little bit. And it's often just fun stuff to draw, right? People have cool ideas on there. It's post-rock / ambient, or so I've been told. Have you not heard it? I'd make a point of listening at least to some of it, just to, because otherwise you're going to draw something completely irrelevant, right? That doesn't make sense with the album. And not your band. Shame. A shame. Are you doing that on? Oh, I guess you said you do everything on Procreate now, don't you? So I guess you are. And again, see, right? This is a very expressive, this line here. And now I'm just making it less expressive. So you need to find ways to convey that motion again. So this was the impact point as well. It's point. Bang. This arm is straight, right? So there's no pinch points along it. It's all just flowing. All the folds are flowing down it like this. It's one of the easiest kind of folds, like arms to draw in terms of clothing, because it's just like straight lines. I listen to it and it's a lot of reverb and delay involved. I'm very much on board. I hope it's on the drums as well and it's super 80s. does sound very ambient actually, to be fair, if it's all delay like. Is it very 80s? Because if it is, you know I'm on board. Here's that, another pocket, right, for his belt. Oh, he should have as well, actually, I think. Yeah, he's got a gun here in his holster, which you probably wouldn't see from this angle because it'd be here, right? Sometimes it's helpful to draw through so you know where you can. Unfortunately, not 80s. Well, I'm out then. Why are you bothering? Well, why is he even bothering? Or they even bothering? Da-da-dum. And then here, right, he's wearing trousers, so there's a fly. And then pinch points in the hips at the crotch like that, right? Which flow out into, again, this is quite straight, so it flows like this. There aren't many pinch points. A few folds. Bam. And again, right, this foot is touching the ground, so I don't have to draw the bottom of it like that. I want to. It looks more interesting like this. And you can also, I could do this bit where it isn't touching if I wanted. Don't know if I'll keep that. What else is there to say about these panels? I guess it's worth pointing. Obviously, we talked about flow, right? Making sure that they flow together, that you're led into each panel. Obviously, on top of that, you've got to think about individually the composition of the panel. Right, so here this is the foreground, then there's a middle, then there's a thing here, so it's sort of rule of thirds, right? But also it's visually interesting because there's foreground, midground and background, so there's layers. You're always trying to create, basically drawing, you're creating you're depicting three-dimensional space in 2 dimensions, right? So anything that you can do that adds that, like adding foreground and background, is a boon. You want to be doing that. So think about, there's a lot to think about. Think about the flow of your panels, but also think about the composition of your panels. Oh, this hand here is another like kind of complex hand. So we've got what was I saying? Oh yeah, I've got reference for this. Right, again, I literally just took a picture of my hand holding a pole so that I wouldn't have to think too much about this, designing this hand here. Anytime you can use reference, you should use reference. Don't let anyone tell you that that's cheating. It ain't cheating. It's cheating, I guess, if you literally copy someone else's drawing. That, I guess, would be cheating, but then sometimes you're just practicing, so who cares, right? But yes, it's good to be able to come up with stuff from your brain, and that will improve your workflow, but it's almost never going to be as accurate as taking pictures. Good idea. Yeah, see, it is. See there, I had the picture ready. I just drew the picture there. And it was way quicker than having to think about, okay, this finger goes like this, and then this does this, and whatever. And you don't even have to take a picture. If it's hands, like, for example, just with your other hand do it. And then just draw that, right? But sometimes, like, these poses I just came up with all myself because they're quite exaggerated. But sometimes I'll take pictures of myself doing the pose or whatever, so that it's more accurate and quicker. Oh, it's here. Wow. And you can also, if you can't be bothered to do that, or you don't have a setup for that, like you don't have a tripod or whatever, which you don't need, you can just put it on a table. But just scroll through Pinterest or Google Images or whatever and just find someone who has already done that pose. You know, as long as you're not literally copying it piece for piece, A, no one's going to notice, and B, no one's going to care. Okay, so he's sort of like this, right? This is where his face is going to be. These are his eyes, this is the front of his face, right? So his ear is going to be here. Right? His eyebrow, or the top of his brow like is there. Then his cheek comes out here and goes down into his chin here. Right? Can I get any more zoomed in? I can. Check the focus on that. Another intro for alright. There we go. Crisp. Beautiful. Okay, so that's bam like this, right? So he's about to punch, and he's punched. Right, makes sense. And again, the angle's pretty much the same, so you can follow it. You're not having to work out, hang on, who's this, what's he doing, where, wasn't he like this last time? You know, it's super simple, but bam. It's always good to stay simple when there's high action. And again, his hair, if you can make it seem like it's flowing more this way, then that shows movement as well. Obviously, the go-to explanation that everyone gives for this sort of thing is, you know, the reason why loads of superheroes have capes, right, is to convey motion in comic books. Because it's not a moving image, it's a still image. But if you can say, okay, this is Superman, right, here, yeah, can you even see this? Right? Then his cape flowing this way means you know that he's travelling this way because the wind's blowing his cape this way. So anything like that where you can have this secondary motion, bam, bam, of his hair, like, and again his hair here. Anything that's going to help you convey that, get it in there, get it done. It's all game. It's all fair game. Superhero should have all mullets instead. Oh my god, I would be so up for that. If they all had mullets, yes please. Or just all be Starman, like. Oh, imagine if they all had mullets. Imagine the scenes of like Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? Like a big crossover superhero event with all of the big dudes, right? Your Supermans, your Batmans, your everyone, and they're all fucking business in the front, party in the back. Oh my god, that would be insane. Maybe that's something we draw in another stream. Mullet League. But yeah, that would do it. That'd do the same thing. You could put their mullets flowing in the background, right? And that would convey that motion. Okay. cape of the head.
That is the best description for a mullet, I think, surely. Has anyone described a mullet better? The cape of the head. It is. Mullet's one of those things where, like, it's never been able to come back to cool, has it? Like, it was cool for a bit. And then some things, like, were dumb for a while. And then, like, they were cool for a while, and then they were dumb for a while, and then suddenly they're cool again. But mullet's just dead in the water, isn't it? It's just dead in the water. So again, these enemy guys have these robot legs, right? With like a crotch plate. Yeah, so this right. So he's punched, right? He's done. He's out. Down for the count, right? So the story, I guess, is moving on from him now. He's out. So now, where's the action? Okay, it's between these two. So this guy who was just creeping in the panel here, right? Him here is now fully in the panel here, about to strike this guy, about to, you know, get involved. So you're always in pages with lots of action, you're always thinking about how to keep the momentum going, right? How to keep the action flowing, never let it stop, because otherwise you get this sort of weird jarring situation. And think about as well, the shape of panels has an effect on how long they read for, right? A panel that's tall like this might only convey a second of time because your eye passes through it very quickly. A panel like this that's longer, the brain takes longer to look through, right? So if you want people to hang on a moment for longer, like for example in this page, the big moment is this, the big action is this, so it's a flat landscape panel so that they stay longer, your eye sort of stays longer on that. It's all things to think about when making comics, and it's the sort of thing that you only really learn from making comics. There's a lot of art techniques that are transferable from fine art into comics, or from, you know, making films into comics and all of that stuff. But as with anything else, there's a lot that you only learn from doing this, and that only really applies to this, and it's why it's such an interesting medium, right? Why I don't think it gets the credit it deserves in a lot of spaces. There's a lot of interesting storytelling techniques in comics. Right, so yeah, this pose, he's stretched out, he's full action, right? His legs are spread, his arms are stretched. You've extended it as much as you can. You want to keep it as stretched and as exciting as possible going forward, because you lose a lot of the action that you had from your very rough, quick sketch lines when you detail them up, so you want to try and save some of it elsewhere. This guy has another one of these spears. Don't know why he's attacking like that. But he is. Oh, maybe he could be like, about to stab him in the face with it. Would that be better? That might be better. Let's do that. So instead of him swinging it down like an axe, he's like stabbing him. Gruesome. Okay. Man. And that's more, I think, exciting for the viewer reading forward, right? Because it's coming at us, and also it's pointing this way to lead your eye into this. So that's the better thing. See, it's all about, it's a process, right? You're constantly changing what you originally thought you were going to do something else. Keep forgetting what this guy looks like. It's like this. And again, tiny face, so you don't need to show much, just an indication of some eyes and maybe a bit of the side of the nose. Just the broad shadows that would have from that. That's all you need to be able to see. And then we might have some action lines on this of just going straight into this punch point. And then we said we were going to have some like onomatopoeia here, right? Like kapow or something. Let me know what kind of sound effect you think we should have this guy punching him. And we'll do it. Not like Spider-Man whip though. Not that. It's got to make sense. But you guys put in the chat what you think we should have, and whichever one is I like best or is most popular, we'll do that. In the meantime, let's do this panel. Thwip. I've already said it's not going to be Thwip. Whap's a good one. Whap is a good one. Whap! Okay, so this panel is sort of the big panel of the page, right? The most action. And basically, he's punched this guy who's now fallen over. And he's turning around to cut this guy who was about to stab him. And there's this arm you can see. I might move it a bit because I think it needs to come into sort of here more. But it's foreshortened, right? So there's forced perspective, which basically means it's coming towards the camera, right? Like this, right? So it gets bigger. Starts off small, gets bigger. And it just draws your eye a little bit. It's a tried true comic book technique. They do it a lot in Japanese comics, like in manga. It's all over that sort of thing. Right, and again, we want to convey motion, right? So the tears of his shirt where he's been cut in half, right, are going to be flowing this way because he's going this way and he's been cut that way, right? So that gives you that motion. Anywhere you can borrow motion from is good. Wham. Well, to be honest, of those two so far, chat, Whap is the best. It may well be Whap. In this panel, I'm thinking of having. So in these, right, all the action stays within the lines, the borders. This one, I'm thinking of having the figure come out the side here. It is that Cardi B song, you're right, but it's also a tried and true comic book noise. And anything that you can meme, generally good. Akira! Yeah, maybe. Maybe. And this line here is the line of where the sword has cut him, right? Bam, so you want lots of action. It's of interest. So this panel is very similar to, if you go and look at, on my website, there's a comic called The Burning Moon, which is a previous story in this story. And there's a panel in that this is sort of very similar to, sort of a callback to that, where essentially he pulls out his sword and guts the guy. Well, cuts him, cleaves him in twain, right? But in like a PC way, you know. It's like with lightsabers when they cut off hands. You get away with it because there's no blood. It's the same thing here. And this is a very anime type situation of cutting a guy in half with a foreshortening and all that. It's very anime. So this is behind this, right? So I want it to be kind of distorted by the flow of this hand here. So I'm not going to draw it very detailed because it's hidden behind the motion lines. Okay. So again, we're still from the back, right? It's still the same basic angle. So we don't have to worry about. We already know, you know, where how this looks because I've drawn it here. Poor guy's not having the best day of his life. And this is like the shadow that shows sort of the shape of his butt. His butt. Which, you know, one of those unfortunate things that you have to draw it sometimes. Sometimes you just have to draw a bum. Luckily this one is armoured and covered up. That leg. How long will we be streaming for? 120. Not bad. We'll go a little bit longer. We'll do a little bit more. if you do miss any of the streams, guys, I am putting them up. Well, they stay up on Twitch for I think 2 weeks, and if we can get to affiliate in some point in the next 3 years, they stay up for longer. But obviously we're going to need a certain amount of followers and all that stuff for affiliates, so bear with on that one. And if you can help out sharing the stream and all that stuff, that'd be great. But otherwise, don't worry, because I'm putting them all up on YouTube, so you can check out my YouTube channel for all the past streams. They're all going to be there. So if you don't know what the heck we're talking about when we say Fridge Gang, you can go and find out by watching the past streams. ZHX BX Khan. BX Khan? Can. I don't know, but thanks for following, man. Welcome to the Fridge Gang. See, you're in. Hashtag Fridge Gang. Keep it chill. Hope you are feeling very chill today. If you're feeling refrigerated. Oh, right, here we go. Here we can add another man bun in. So I guess technically visible man buttons on this page is a 40% ratio. So sorry if I misled you earlier, but I still attest that that is more than most pages in most comic books. So good thing about if we do get affiliate as well is we can do more stuff with like the chat, so I can get emotes, and if we get subs and stuff you can get like VIP chat members and stuff like that, which might be a fun thing to look at. I don't know, this whole Twitch thing is still very new, you know. Very new to me. I don't really know what I'm doing, but yeah, again, so look, this is the back of his ear here, so they know that he's looking that way, right? If you think of the face, right, as a circle, right, and then if you draw like this, there's this kind of kite shape, right? And from here, a profile view or a three-quarter view, you can place simply by putting the ear in, right? So if I put the ear directly in the middle, we know that he's looking directly to the side, and it's a direct portrait, right? If I put the ear further back here, then we know that he's looking more towards us, so the front of the face is here, right? And this is the edge of the jaw here. If I put it forwards and you see the back of it, then we know he's looking away from us, right? That way. Little simple tricks like that will speed up the way you draw, and learning how things associate to one another in common things that you draw, like faces that you draw all the time, will save you an absolute marathon's worth of time. Okay. I think chat will do this panel, and then we'll look back on the other ones, and then I think we'll call it a day on this one. I don't want to bore you all. Or maybe I will, we'll see. Maybe I'll do more. I don't know. There will be more to be drawn. So this is the guard on the sword, right? And he's holding it sort of that way, so it's coming towards us like this, and this is the front of the sword, right? But we're just going to draw the side of it here, because the rest of it is flowing into this slashing thing here. So we don't need to draw this side. And then, yep, this hand we have more reference for. This one. So again, I just took a picture of my hand. I did all this before the stream. So that's like the bit of your hand here, your palm, right? Could you do tutorials on perspective, shading, body anatomy in a future video? Yeah, I am thinking of doing some tutorial videos. Obviously, these are just like a draw and a chill, right? And I'm sort of talking through some process things. I do want to make just dedicated tutorial stream stuff, so if you've got things like that you want me to teach you how to do, or at least obviously I'm not an expert, and I'm not the best teacher in the world, but I can at least talk you through the way that I make things. Yeah, perspective, like, yeah, some of those we can do. Anatomies are really, I can do some anatomy, but that might take a few streams because it's just so goddamn complicated. And basically my advice on that is do some life drawing. Either go to a life drawing class or just Google life drawing videos and classes and stuff like that and draw from there. And when you do it, really think about what you're drawing and why it's the way that it is, right? So when I'm drawing this finger, right, I'm thinking about, you know, the skin compresses out here because it's touching this surface. So when you touch it, it flattens out, right? The skin on your finger flattens out. Things like that. If you can think about, okay, why am I drawing this the way that I am drawing it, will mean that when you come to making it up, you know the way that things work and stuff like that. But the simple answer is yes, at some point I will do some tutorial videos. I'll let you know. I want to do lots of very different things on these streams, you know. I want to do a tutorial, I want to do, give it a go, appreciate it, yeah. Cool, yeah. Glad to know I could help. Yeah, I want to do like some fun streams where we could do like some drawing games and stuff. And I want to do streams like this where we're just hanging out. These are fun, I like these. You know, mix it up. And I want it to be a collaborative process as well. So any of you guys like that, if you had ideas and stuff like that, don't hesitate to let me know. This is all you know. You guys are what are making me, you know, do these streams still, so. If I didn't have people coming in and watching the streams, then I wouldn't be making them. Well, I would, but it wouldn't be as fun. Right, there you go. So there's that hand, right? And again, I didn't have to think too much about plotting it out because I had reference. Sped the process up. Oh, bear with. Hang on. Bear with me on this chat. There you go. Sorry, the lens on my camera gets stuck sometimes. It's because it's not really a camera for this sort of thing. I've had to jerry-rig it a bit. I've had to hack it. And it doesn't like it sometimes. But luckily, when we're doing like this, I have the footage right next to me so I can tell pretty quickly when it happens. It was tough the other day when we were streaming on Photoshop because I couldn't see the stream, so in those situations you guys are going to have to let me know when the camera goes down. Right, yeah, so this is foreshortened, right, this arm. So this hand is way bigger than this hand is going to be because it's way closer to the frame. And here, the arm starts off quite thin here and gets thicker as you come out, right? Bigger and bigger. Because it's coming towards the camera. That's a really useful technique in comics to draw your eye, right? conveys this action and interest a lot better. And the good thing about this character design that I did kind of deliberately is it's built around the way that you would draw a body, right? So you would think of, okay, here's the rib cage, and then here's like the abdomen underneath, right? Well, this guy literally has a thing, like a piece of armor that goes over the shape of the rib cage like that. So it makes it easier to draw those things because the character is designed around them. There's another little cheat for you. It's all I'm about, Just cheat. Just cheat your way to the top. That is not good life advice. Again, that one. It's like the shadow of where the cuff of his shirt meets his hand here, and this is where the cuff meets the sleeve. Ba-bum, bum, bum. Bang. So there's one of those pouches again, and then, like we said before, he's got a gun holstered on his belt. It's like a ray gun, looks like this. It has one of these on it. Do, 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 do. Like that. And again, right, he's wearing trousers, so fly, which places your folds, they pull into it. And this leg is relatively straight, so the folds are going to fall over it like that, with some pinching in at the knee. Then you just draw around those folds here when you do the outline. Do good crotch folds. Thanks. Thanks a lot. That's another thing that you draw a lot of. Crotch folds. Oh man. Oh, I just realised he has like buttons down here and a collar that I haven't drawn on these two. Well, you wouldn't really see on this one, but there we go. And this arm, I think, I don't know if I liked it there. I prefer the hand being more here than it was before, so more like that. The only problem with that is that it's too similar to this line, right? So you have this confusion between where one thing starts and the other doesn't. So if we put his arm down a bit more like this and have it come up to a fifth there, then there's less of that kinetic confusion, less crossover, and you can distinguish more between what one thing is and the other. This fist I don't think I did reference for, but I shouldn't need it because I've drawn fists like this a jillion times. And again, it's just super rough at this point. Bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Actually, I don't want to do it. Oh, I do have reference for this because it wasn't going to be a fist. It was going to be like a like splayed out, right? I want it to look a little bit like sort of like he's gone bap, like absolutely bapped it, like two hands into one hand. So this hand is like he's let go, like he's just baseballed this guy in the chest. That's what we're after. Let me know as well if you think, chat. Music. What do you think? Do we have music? Should we have music in the stream? I haven't been doing it. Partly because I'm putting these on YouTube and I don't want to get copyright striked. But partly because I guess some people might not want it. So, I want the option. If you want to listen to music, listen to your music. You know what I mean? But if you wanted music in the chat that we could all listen to go along with it, that would be cool. I know the Midnight have said that you can stream their music and they won't take it down, which is why I put it on the intro. But I don't know if that'll apply to YouTube either. Copyright free stuff, low volume in the background. That's what I'm thinking, yeah. I could just Google some. I think you need some relaxing video lo-fi beats. Yeah, man, if you want to make some lo-fi beats for me, that'd be cool. I'm thinking something lo-fi, yeah, something chill. Because the stream's pretty chill, right? It's Fridge Gang. We've got to keep it chill. Right? We can't be heating up the Fridge Gang. No way. Yeah, I mean, don't go out of your way, mate, obviously, but if you want to make some chill stuff, send it over. Otherwise, I will just search for some copyright-free stuff. If you guys would be into that. Oh my god, that glare from the sun. Oh my god, it's burning my eyeballs. One sec, chat. Oh my god. That's better, but it is very dark in here now. It might just be dark for the rest of the stream, sorry. What's the Oven Gang? The Oven Gang doesn't exist. Well, the Oven Gang could be subs, maybe. Or maybe that'll be Fridge Gang VIPs. Lo-fi hip-hop beats to draw fridges to. Exactly. That's what we need. We need a playlist that's that. If anyone knows if that playlist exists, hit me up. If it doesn't, make it. Make it and send it me. He's got his crazy anime hair. Just kind of comes out of the back like that. And when you think about drawing hair, right, you've got to think that it comes out from the scalp, right? If your head is this, right, your hair isn't going to be like this. You know, it's not on the edge, it comes out more. It has a mass of its own and a shape of its own. So don't just draw a face and go, there's his hair, right? His hair comes out the top, like this. I don't know how well you can see that, but think of hair of having mass and having shape, because it does. Generally speaking, anyway. I'll send you over one track I've done. You can happily use it. I'll mix it down and master it up for you, pal. No problem. Oh, you're a G. I would appreciate that. Thank you. Again here, I want him to be kind of cool. So he's got like a frown and a smile at the same time. He's got that kind of look. Cool guy. Cut you in half look. Imagine if there was a rival streamer with another gang. Oh my god, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Right, so does that make sense there, that posing? Bah! Slash. Right. I think so. I think that eye has to come back a bit. Because again, right, your eye starts at the edge of the nose, which is up here, so it has to come back. Just the tiniest little fragment. Like that. I draw a bit of his face through the hair. Again, that's quite a manga type thing to do. Then I think this is going to like say slash, like in the background, like that. And then there's probably going to be action lines in the background here, maybe. I want to convey as much motion and interest as possible. Before we do that though, we've got to draw this guy, this poor lad, this poor lamb on the floor. Also, he's got to be dropping his spear at some point, so I'll have to remember to do that. Oh wait, this isn't the guy with the thing. This is the guy with this hair. Like that. And this is the guy with the man bun. I'm so glad that those characters are very similar apart from that. I wouldn't want to have to redraw all of that. So there we go, we're still maintaining our ratio. Yeah, this. Beauty. This hand here again, touching the ground, so we'll drop a line. Just draw to where it connects. Just like that. Just like that. And then the legs. Again, these guys have got robot legs because that's the way that I break legs down. Right, this bit, then the knee, and then this bit. So you just put some bits in between and robot legs. So build your character designs. Sometimes it's helpful to build them around the way you draw because it saves you a lot of time coming forwards. That's what I do anyway. But I'm a filthy cheat, so only in art, not in life. There he is. And again, you've got to draw the butt. There's the butt. Beauty. That's his other hand on the ground. He's holding himself up, right? Just thinking about, oh my god, I should not have got out of bed today. You know, he's like, oh man, is it really worth working for this evil guy that my friend's just been cut in half in the service of? Maybe not. Sometimes it does help to get in the brain of your characters, right? Okay, there he is. He's on the ground. And then there's some action lines here which we'll do in post. Probably. to follow the action of that. So zoom out. I think we'll call it there, to be honest, chat. I think we'll do, that's half the page, pretty much, a bit more. And that's good for a day's work, don't you? Oh, we've got to do this thing. Okay, so if no one else has got any suggestions, and if you do, now's your chance. But if you don't, it's going to have to be WAP. So if you want to come up with a better sound for this punch, like maybe a pow, or a sock, or a biff, you know. It's great, thank you. Looks cool. Yeah, man, it looks chill. It looks Fridge Gang. Just gonna go over these borders. Actually, they should come in a bit, because that is basically the edge of the page, isn't it? So they want to come into not the edge of the page. Chang. That would work here, right? Where they're connecting swords. But here he's punching him in the face. I don't think his face is made of metal, so it seems to be not one actually. Do. And this one too needs to be this. It's about 0.5. Fair point, yeah. Anyone else got any ideas? Otherwise it's WAP. Now's your chance. Last ditch. I still vote WAP personally. Alright, look, it's WAP, isn't it? It's gonna have to be. God damn it, chat. Everything I draw from now on is going to be memes and fridges in this chat. I don't know if I have a problem with that. WAP. Let's go WAP. Shall we? WAP. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Bang. Alright. How's that then for a day's work, do we think? Well, that's yeah, basically. Cool. Okay, I think that's going to do it for today, chat. Thanks for dropping by. I guess it'll be same time, same place next week. I don't know what we'll be doing. Hopefully I will have finished penciling this by then, so it might be doing some inking. Or maybe we'll make a fridge gif. I don't know. Let me know what you want to see. We'll sort it out. And yeah, future ideas. If you got any suggestions, I think there is a suggestion box on my page, so you can drop it in there. Otherwise, just message me. Just hit me up. Let me know. Tutorials and stuff I do want to do. Let me know. Yeah. Follow if you want to join the Fridge Gang. It'll let you know when I'm streaming. I mean, it's probably going to be Wednesday at 2. But it'll let you know. And you can follow on Twitter as well. I'll let you know in advance there too. If not, and you miss any of the streams and you want to find out, check my YouTube channel. They'll be there. I think there's a link on it in the page as well. If not, it's just Mystery Monday. It's just youtube.com/Mystery Monday, I think. Something like that. You'll find it. I'm sure you're all clever people. Yeah, I think I'm going to love it and leave her. Stay chill, everybody. Thanks for dropping by. See you later. Goodbye.